y'all, Bridget Bartlett here. I am the local business marketing training and support specialist for Builderall. Welcome to today's training. I see Jim is here already. Jim is my action taker. I love it. So today what I'm going to teach you is actually how to create a broadcast page for a webinar. So it's basically exactly what you're looking at right now on our group e-learning. So let me share this with you actually. This is a page inside of the e-learning platform. Okay, so this is just everything that you see here in this box is a webinar page that is just basically the link is pasted into the e-learning platform. So I'm going to show you how to create that today. I know a lot of you guys are interested in learning more about the webinar tool and how you can actually start doing this for your business, but you're a little confused, like, I don't really know how do I live stream, how do I get, create all of this, and it's actually much more simple than you may think. So let me go ahead and move this over here out of the way, and we can go ahead and get started here. Now, make sure that wherever you're watching this, that if you want to comment or you want me to answer your questions, make sure that you click the link in the video description and join our webinar broadcast so that I can actually see your pages or see your questions. That's the only place that I monitor. So wherever you're at, just make sure that if you do have questions that you comment on the broadcast page. Jim says, loved yesterday's training. Really enjoying your training on getting to know Builderall and all of its tools. Awesome, Jim. Yay, I'm so glad. There's so many cool things. And not only do we have 40 plus tools, but there's so many different ways that you can utilize these tools. Like we just figured out, as a team that we could actually stream live right into the e-learning. So that was just us thinking outside the box. Typically we just use broadcast pages like I'm going to show you today. So the first thing we want to do is actually enter the webinar builder. So you can enter this if it's on your dashboard, or you can go up here to the apps and then go to webinar builder right here. Okay, so now what we want to do is create a webinar. Okay, let me actually just delete this because we just created that yesterday. All right, so I'm going to just click here to create a new webinar. Now, the difference here is basically if you want to just stream live, you can choose this option here, okay? But if you actually want to create a webinar where you're going to take the code from the live stream and you want to have it on a page. So like right now, I'm not using this function on my webinar page. I'm using this function because I want to go live, but I also want to have the chat. I also can have the ability to log in and, things like that. So this is actually the option we're going to create today. If you wanted to create an evergreen webinar, it's basically just a video or a live stream you can do, but it's mostly for like a video. Okay, so if you want to schedule like maybe at noon, 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. you want this webinar to replay, you can choose this option. So right now what we're going to focus on though is just the live on-demand webinar with the chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and click next, and now we need to give our webinar name. We'll just say test, and we'll click next, and let's go ahead and click create webinar. Okay, so now you see we have the we can change the name here. We can actually click here to protect it with a password. We can obviously, you can choose to translate if you want to translate into different languages. Here is where you're going to put your video link. So if you have a pre-recorded video that you want to use, you can pull that in from the Builderall Video Manager, or you can upload the video here. But I actually like to use YouTube. And, honestly, I wish I could tell you about the YouTube Live. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think YouTube has a live link. This is the rumors that I'm hearing. I just have not figured it out yet. That you can reuse every time, but I do not know how to do that, so I'm just being completely transparent. But the reason I love telling you guys that is because you're under the misconception that we must know everything about Builderall or the tools or the system, whatever. And fact is that digital marketing is an ever-evolving process, and so is Builderall. So we grow as the market grows, so there's always things to learn. So that's my my pitch on why I don't know what this is. Okay, and you can also install an iframe. Okay, so what I'm going to focus on right now is YouTube. Okay, and now here's the cool thing too. You can actually choose to have them go to a URL after the broadcast is over. So what I actually do for our group webinars, when the broadcast is over, I actually send them to the Funnel Club page. We talk about the Funnel Club a lot. After, if you've watched this whole training and you're not a Builderall member or you're a free member, maybe you want to upgrade. And so I want to give you that option and make it really simple. So I just paste the, and if you're doing your own, of course, I don't, because I don't do my own affiliate link because I certainly don't want to do anything unethical since I am hired by Builderall to do this training. But if this is your own team or your own webinar that you're doing, by all means, you could paste your affiliate link here. And then as soon as the broadcast is over, it redirects to whatever link is here. If you want to enable the chat, you can do that here. You also have ghost users, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And with the chat, you can enable this so that it is 30% on desktop or tablet. You can also adjust for the mobile view. With our e-learning, what we figured out is about 25% is about what looks best for this setup. But again, you can choose whatever setup you want to. And then about 60% for mobile. Okay, so that's what I have mine set at. I think it's 60%. So that's kind of what I have it set. Let me move this to 50. For some reason, I feel like it's not 60. I can't quite remember, but it may take some playing around depending on whatever setup you want. Okay. You can choose to have the chat on the bottom, top, left, right, or actually overlap. I have in the e-learning, I have it positioned to the right of the video. I did get some feedback. Some people like it on the bottom, some people like it on the right. It really, I think, just depends on what device you're viewing it on. So it's really, again, you just need to play around with it, and you may have a completely different setup or design. So it's important to know that you do have the options to adjust that. You also have the ability to display the chat before the webinar even starts, which I like to do. And you can actually cap it off at 100 comments here. You can save the history and even download it. I do like to save the history because, as you guys can see from the broadcast yesterday, I love to share. Let me just bring this over so you can see what I'm talking about. I love to share in the chat the replay. As soon as I swap this over to the new live training, I always put the replay here just because even though all of the replays are here on the side of our e-learning, you may not know, well, I know that she was talking about, site bots, but, to save you basically the trouble of having to look through all of these and figure out, where the video was, I like to put the direct link to the training here in the chat. So I like to save the chat and have it, revolving since we do training every day. So totally your choice. You can set this up to pre-moderate comments, or you can click here to open the moderation tool. Now, I don't have a webinar connected, so that's not relevant. But if you want to invite someone into your webinar, so that they can, moderate the comments. You can do that there. You can also integrate the chat bot. And you can also put a custom CSS for the text chat. Honestly, that's a little bit more advanced, but again, it's cool if you are familiar with that and you want to use that. It's awesome to have that ability. So here on the schedule, you can basically tell it to say, how many viewers do you want before or after. So if you want to say, hey, in my webinar, I want to have, let's see, user come in before or after the webinar starts. So if I want to say I want to have, let's say maybe 10 seconds before the webinar starts, I can have users start popping in. I could also add banners here. And this, again, is something that I'm really not familiar with. It's a fairly new feature, and I have not used it yet. So definitely, I want to do a little bit more training here, but I'm thinking, I saw Eric, the CEO, I saw him do a video just a couple weeks ago, because this was, or maybe it was a couple months ago, I just haven't used it. But I think what it does is it actually puts a banner within your webinar. So super, super cool. I may play around with that and do an additional training. So now you can choose the webinar room appearance. So do you want to add social proof? Do you want to display that there? Do you want a image placeholder? You can also choose a video. You can add the thumbnail or the poster here. You can also change the cover, whether you want it to fill or contain. Again, some more custom CSS. You can change the back timer appearance. You have all of these functions. I really don't want to bore you with all of this stuff because honestly, I have never even used these things. But again, it's just super cool that we have these options. But I also want to, by the end of this training, I want you to be familiar enough with the main things so that you can create your own webinar. Okay. You could also click here to require them to log in with an email, and then you can send them to whatever list that you want in Mailing Boss. Okay. So let's go back to the ghost users. I want to show you this. You can actually click here to create ghost users. Now this is super cool, okay? A lot of times when you're brand new, you have these webinars and, no one shows up. You might get a couple people, maybe. And, that if you're a person viewing the webinar, you might think, wow, there's like no one even in here. There's no social proof there. So you could actually say that you have, 200 ghost users. Okay, so it'll say in the top of your webinar, it'll say you have 200 people, and then it will fluctuate up or down 15% is what this is set on. Okay, so it's going to go up or down. It might get as low as 140. I had to do quick math. It might be as low as 140 or as high as 260. Okay, so it's going to fluctuate just to basically give the appearance of real users. All right. You can actually click here to create ghost users. So we're just going to call this test and click OK. And actually, let's see. Okay, so we'll just say test 1. Oops. 1. Okay. So now we have 2 users called test 1 and test 2, but let's actually give some real names. Let's say Pam is a user. Let's say Fred is a user. Okay, so now we have some users, okay? Let's go ahead and add some messages. So let's choose the user we want to use. Let's say test 1 says hello about 20 seconds into our webinar, okay? I want to make these actually less than that because when I show you the display, I want you to see what it actually looks like. So let's say 3 seconds in, our user test says hello. So we'll click add message. So now we have 1 message here and you can look at them there. Let's go back up here. Actually, let's create a new message. And this time test 1 is going to say, hi, I am test 1. And test 1 is going to comment with that comment, let's say 7 seconds in. Okay, and we're going to add message. And let's add another one. So let's say Pam now is going to say, I love this. And she's going to say it 10 seconds into our webinar. Oops, not 10 minutes, 10 seconds. And apply. And we'll add the message. And let's add one more. And we'll say Fred says, I love Builderall. And he says it 12 seconds into our webinar. Okay, so we're going to add that message. And we can also import ghost users from a file. We could export, but we don't want to really do that. We just want to use these ghost users, okay? So now we have our ghost users. We've created, really, this is all we needed to do. But we do need a video, okay? So we can actually input this anytime. Let's actually type in, just to have a link, let's type in, or to redirect, we'll just choose Builderall, we'll paste that here, and let's go ahead and get the code for our webinar, and then I will show you how to get that YouTube link, all right? So let's go to Get Embed Code, and you see that you have the direct link. So if I click here and I go up to the window and paste, this is what you're going to see. So let's put our name in here. And so this is what our webinar looks like. Okay, so it's actually counting down. And we have a test user, so you see our ghost users are popping in, but we don't have a video, okay? But there are our ghost users, all right? So what we want to really do, though, is embed this into a page, because it's nice to have that one solid page, but we really want to give a professional appearance for our webinar, right? So let's actually, now that we have our webinar code, let's go to Cheetah. And there are some templates that you can use inside Cheetah. So let's go create new website and then choose. And let's scroll down here and see if there's an actual webinar option. No, but there are some themes. So let's type in webinar and see if the themes will sort. So yeah, we do have, if you type in webinar, you have many, many pages that you can choose from in here. So we really just want to click, or we want to pick a theme to choose from. And you know, this is this gray theme, this travel one is super, super cool. I'm really enjoying that. So I think let's go ahead and let's just pick this one. Okay, so we're going to just import this template and let's go ahead and click here. So you'll see this is what your page looks like. Now, obviously, you want to edit this. This is just a Cheetah page. And actually, this is not for the webinar. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go back here. I didn't choose the webinar page. I chose like the opt-in for the webinar. So let's close out of this. Let's go back to Cheetah. Let's choose a different page. Sorry about that, guys. We didn't want the intro. We want the actual, I'm going to delete this so I remember. That is not the one. So we'll go create site and choose. And let's type in webinar again. Now, I guess let me get a closer look. If you ever want to preview, all you need to do is click here to preview. So what I'm looking for is, see how beautiful that is? I love how the clouds come in and stuff. That's super cool. What I'm looking for is more of a embedded webinar so that we have the ability, or we have the room for the chat. So as I scroll through here, I don't see any that's exactly what I'm looking for, but that's okay. We have the capability to adjust. So let's go ahead, and now the hard part is just trying to settle on one because they're all so beautiful. Let me preview this one. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, let's just use this one. All right, so we're going to click select and save. So now we're in our brand new website. So let's go ahead and click edit page. And you saw that I had the code already for the webinar. So here is the iframe. And if you choose a completely blank page, that's not a big deal. You're still going to bring in the iframe, okay? So if you don't have an iframe on your page, you can easily get that by going to add Elements, and then scroll down to the iframe, and then you're just going to left click and drag it to your page. Okay, so now I have actually 2 iframes on my page, so let me delete one. Okay, I'm going to left click and send it to the trash can. All right, so now we have our iframe that we're going to use. We're going to left click here and want to go to Edit Element and General Settings. And we actually copied the embed code here instead of the URL, so I'm just going to paste that here. Okay, we clicked Apply. Now let's actually look at the live version of the page. So I'm going to click That's Fine. And let's go to Website. Okay, so you see automatically our webinar pops up here, and let's go ahead and enter our name. And now you see the same thing that we showed before. Okay, so when it counts down, you see here are our ghost users. We have 205, and it will fluctuate. Now the timer is counted down, so here's our video. And you see it is dark here, but you can see Test 1 and Test and Pam and Fred, they're all commenting just like we had this set up to comment. So now how do you get that YouTube video? Okay, what you can do is you can actually, let me go here. Let me actually go to YouTube, and then I will show you. So go to your channel. Let me see if I can remember this, because I usually use Restream, like I showed you guys earlier in the week. Let me see, create, go live. I think you go live. And you can do, okay, schedule stream. All right. So what you want to do is you want to schedule your event. Okay. If I want to click create new, I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want you guys to see all of my my streaming key, but basically you want to create an event and you want to tell it what time do you want to create this event for, you know, and you can put in, you know, the title and all of your information into your YouTube description. You can upload the thumbnail, you can do all of that. And when you click create stream, it's actually going to create a link just like this. So you want to click the 3 dots and you want to click get shareable link. Okay, so if I actually get this event that is streaming right now and paste this here, then you'll see automatically on our web page there is my live streaming event. Okay, so if I click play, so now it's actually playing. All right, so now you see that I have the same video embedded in 2 different webinars and it's playing, but it's not interfering with each other because the video is on YouTube. So YouTube doesn't know or doesn't care where you have this video pasted. It's just going, it's all about the webinar, okay? It's what you have set up in the webinar. So I think this is so super cool. This is so exciting. Really, the sky's the limit, and it's so simple. You can also create social proof and things like that to have popping up in the corner. If I show you, let me show you my. If we go to my website here. You'll see if you scroll down here, you'll see in just a few seconds, social proof will pop up. Now, with the social proof, you don't have to, hopefully it's on this page. There you go. So with the social proof, you don't have to use like, you know, ghost users or fake users or anything like that. You can actually use your real reviews, which is definitely recommended. But you can also set social proof when you have a new member pop up or a new member of your e-learning or something like that. You can have the social proof pop up. So it's not just about reviews or any of that, even though you could put your reviews here. So let's say that I want to drive traffic to my Google reviews. Okay, that's where I want everyone to see my reviews is on Google. But maybe I want to create a social proof campaign and then put, you know, this person and what they said here in this little review. I could use that as like a review widget, okay, with the ghost users. So lots of opportunities there. And I may talk about social proof on Monday, but you guys definitely let me know in the chat if you want to learn more about social proof. But tomorrow is going to be our live Q&A instead of Friday because if you guys don't know, my aunt passed away last week and her funeral is Friday morning, so I'll be going out of town. But I definitely don't want you guys to go without the Friday Q&A, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. So Thursday is our Friday Q&A day. So I hope you got some value from this, and I know that even though this is something super simple, I know that you guys love to have the templates of things. So let me just go ahead. I'm going to share the template with you because this is so simple to share. Why not share it? So I'm just going to click the three dots. I'm going to enable public view and copy link, and then I'm going to add it in the chat. Okay, so if you guys are in the broadcast page, you'll be able to see that here. And I will also add that link to the replay. So the replay will be in the miscellaneous and it will be here. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, maybe creating a webinar. But anyway, so that's how I stay organized in the group so that you are aware of all of that. And of course, tomorrow you will log in just like you normally do, but to grab the Zoom link, you will just click here. Okay, so instead of, like I said, instead of Friday, it's going to be Thursday, but you're still going to be able to access that just grabbing the Zoom link here. Okay, so I hope you guys got some value from this. Until tomorrow, go build it with Builderall. Thank you so much for joining me for today's live training. Don't forget to text the word live to 1317-623-4596 so you never miss a training, and click the link above or below this video to join the Builderall family. See you next time.